Hello, pussycat. Hello, pussycat. Yeah, you're here again, aren't you? Classic 350. I want to bust some of the myths about it. I've read a lot of things on a lot of comments and a lot of other people's channels and my own. Oh, it's not powerful enough. 20 horsepower is not enough. It's too heavy. It's not a proper motorbike. Well, I think those comments are written by people who they've never ridden one, they've not got one, or they're sports bikes riders. That's what I'm thinking. So I've had this bike. It's a 2022 bike. I bought it new. It's done just over 4,000 miles now. The reason it's so low mileage on it is because I've got 18 other bikes to ride. So that's the reason that I do keep them all in rotation. And I've just come back this morning. I've been up to Newmarket with this, which is 50 miles each way. They say, oh, it's too small for bigger riders. I'm 6'6", as I keep telling everybody, and I can ride this all day. Makes no difference to me. So I want to bust some of these myths. 20 horsepower means nothing. Looks very low on paper, but it's not the horsepower, it's the torque, and it's got plenty of torque. I was watching a review of a guy who got one of these, and he said, oh, you need a gear indicator and a 6-speed box. Why would you want a 6-speed box on a 350? It's not one of those bikes you've got to keep it on the boil. It'll pull from low revs as well. It's got loads of torque. So, yeah, I just can't be doing with it all. I'm just going to have to throw my spanner in the works and say what I think. I've been riding for 50 years. I've never been without a motorcycle in all my life since I was 15. I wasn't old enough to have it on the road, that one, but I've always had a motorcycle. So I think I'm qualified to sort of say what I think about it. And I've owned a lot of bikes in my time, from GXs and Kawasaki 900s, Honda 754s. I've had all of them. Well, not all of them. I haven't had everything, have I? But I mean, I've had all sorts. Triumphs, Nortons, BSAs, loads of British stuff. So I'll just put my judgment on this bike. Has it given me any trouble? No, none at all. It's on the button all the time. It's incredibly economical. I mean, you can get 100 miles to the gallon out of this without trying at all. So it's really cheap. I mean, compared with the cast iron bullets, it's a lot cheaper to run. I mean, they're not very fuel efficient, those cast iron bullets anyway. Yeah, they're fairly respectable, but they're nothing like one of these. The brakes are really good. The handling is superb. Can't fault the handling, I really can't. Like I say, and I'm tall, I've got a 34 inside leg, and I never feel cramped on this, never. So anyway, let's get out have a look on it on the road, and you can see what I think. See you in a minute. Well, here we are, having a little spin on the back roads like you've seen me in the videos doing. People say it's not fast enough, but last year I was working down in Hove, and I think you all know that Hove is attached to Brighton, and Ipswich to Hove is about 127 miles, and I was commuting from Ipswich to Hove and back again every week for a month on this bike. And if you look at the route, it's 2 A roads and 2 motorways, which is the M25 and the M23. And I never got in anybody's way. I kept up, and in fact, they were getting in my way. I'd have to come home on a Friday night after work, so I was catching the rush hour all round London. It was absolute mayhem, but I spent most of the time filtering to get home. But on the Sunday, when I'd go back again, Sunday evening, the traffic was pretty good, and I did that for the first 3 weeks, and then I took the 650 Interceptor down there. And the interesting thing was, it took me exactly the same amount of time to get there on the Interceptor 650 as it did on the Classic 350. And the Classic 350 obviously is a lot more economical run. So that quite surprised me. I thought I'd be down there a lot quicker on the Interceptor, but I wasn't. A quick look at the Doctor Who TARDIS on the side of the road. Could only be in Suffolk. I think that's his holiday home, I think. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, it's people say it's too heavy. No, it's not too heavy. It's a heavy bike makes for a stable bike, and I don't think it's heavy. I mean, you compared with like the old 1970 Interceptor, that is a heavy bike. And my Honda 1300 I've got, which you haven't even seen yet, that's 700 pounds that weighs. I mean, it's a monstrous thing. It's nearly 9 feet long. This is compact. It's a quite compact bike, and it makes it really good to ride. I find it incredibly comfortable, and to address the speed issue, it will keep up with all traffic up to the speed limit on any road in the UK. The fastest we can go anywhere is 70 legally. So, if you can, people say, oh, they haven't got enough power to pass the lorries. I've been on the M25 coming home, where you've got a lorry in the middle lane overtaking a lorry in the slow lane. And I've been out into the third lane on the M25 with this, because most lorries can only do 60. I know they're supposed to be limited to 55, but they can creep up to 60. And, you get one lorry wants to overtake another lorry because he wants to do 1 mile an hour faster. That situation. Well, this will get up to 70 and it will hold 70 as well. And you're not thrashing it because it's detuned. And you can get past them. If you get a whole load of cars behind you in the fast lane and you're doing 70, you might get somebody start flashing you because they want to do 110. You always get that, but they just have to wait, don't they, till you overtake. They wouldn't come up behind a lorry and flash another lorry, or flash that lorry because he wouldn't get past the other lorry quick enough, would he? I mean, they just have to put up with it. So yeah, I had no scary moments on motorways with it at all. The M23 is pretty hilly, uphill, down dale, and all the rest of it, and it was just great. It was the highlight of the week. After driving a big old Caterpillar D8 or week, anything seems fast, but I had no qualms about going back on it. Like coming home on the Friday night and going back on it on the Sunday. I could have taken something else. I took the Interceptor, and I wish I hadn't now. But it's quite capable, And like I say, you can't hurt them. You can ring them round to the stop all day if you like. It won't hurt them because they're rev limited, conservatively rev limited. I think the rev limit is set for about 5,700 revs. I think. Yeah, I mean, there's bigger bikes, but if you're a sports bike rider, yes, you're not. I don't even know what you're even watching these videos for of these, because they're not in your league. These are a different bike, a different type of bike. They never were sold as a sports bike. No Royal Enfields were. Well, mind you, the old Interceptors were, because they were the super bike one of the super bikes of the day, really. So yeah, I think that. People are being pretty unfair in the comments. and not being entirely honest in the fact that they've probably never ridden one. They just don't like them. You know, oh no, it's a Royal Enfield, it's got to be rubbish. Oh, I don't like them. But I'm not going to have any of that. They're a great little bike. Don't be put off by comments you've read. They're a great little bike. The braking is like I say, it's superb. It's really good. You know, I mean, you can lock the front wheel up if you wanted to. You lock the back wheel up. What more can you want from a set of brakes? Anyway, that's my two penny worth. I'm just fed up with reading comments like that that are saying, oh, they're no good. Oh, they're too this and they're too heavy and they don't go fast enough. And it's all nonsense. Absolute nonsense. So, I mean, I've had this bike for 2 years. If it was no good, it wouldn't be here now. It would have been gone. And I mean, I was so impressed with it. I mean, I was very sceptical when I went to buy it, to be quite honest with you. The dealer said, well, I was up there once, up in Norwich there. The dealer said, he said, what are you rating these then? I said, not much. I said, good to look at, aren't they? And he said, yeah, have you had a go on one? I said, no. He said, I was on the Classic 500 then, which came from him, new. He said, have a go on it. You'll be pleasantly surprised. I said, no, I doubt it. He said, take my word for it. Have a go on it. Go on, stick your helmet on and have a go. So I rode through Norwich and through the traffic and got out the other side and started heading up towards Sheringham. And I thought, for 20, you'd never know this was 20 horsepower. You'd think it's a lot more than that. It goes really well. So anyway, after about 20 minutes of riding it, I didn't want to take it back. I thought this is a great little bike. It's not got the absolute bottom end grunt that the 500's got, but it was the way it just got knuckled down and got on with it. And I just thought, I quite fancy one of these. Anyway, that's got me thinking. And a week later, I went up there and bought that one. And I bought a green one as well the next week. That's a story that story is in another video. I think it's which video is it? It's Royal Enfield made a big mistake with the 350 bullet. That story's in there. So yeah, no, don't believe the comments. They're not true. In my eyes, they're just simply not true. There's people that are just, oh, I don't like it, it's a Royal Enfield. You know, like I said, it's just sour grapes, I think, a lot of it. They're cheap to insure. They're cheap to tax. I mean, it's cheaper than my 500, that's for sure. They're just great. So if you haven't got one, go and get one. Or go and get a test ride. That's the answer. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to start rambling if I don't cut it off here. So thanks for listening. And if my experience is any good to anybody, I mean, like I say, I've had 50 years on bikes, and I know a good one from a bad one. And this is by no means bad. It's really good. I can't find any faults with it, really. I can't find any faults with it. No, I can't think of any faults that are things that I'd change on it. That's why this bike is completely standard. I'm not doing any upgrades on it. I can't see the point. I've got bigger bikes if I want to go faster. But, you know, like I say, you know, you can only do over 70 mile an hour for so long before some camera will get you, some copper will chase. I mean, the internet is full, YouTube is full of police chases where people are in excess of 100 mile an hour on a motorbike. Well, and the police are chasing them. And, you know, they take a dim view of all that. You won't get any speeding tickets with one of these. Not because they're that slow, it's because you ride them within the limits. Sound like a real goody, don't I? But I'm not. I've had my moments where I've been sort of quite unbelievable speeds, really, in my younger days, but not now. I've lost too many mates through speed over the years, and I'm quite happy to just ride smaller bikes and my bigger bikes as well, but ride them sensibly. And I think that's the key to everything, isn't it? Motorcycling, ride sensibly. So anyway, I'm going to end you there, and I'll catch up with you on the next one. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.